Hi everyone, this is Deb Tim, a Canadian girl, and of course behind me is Della, my little partner in crime. Today I want to share with you how my African cichlids are doing. They're prolific little breeders and keep giving me more fry, and I also rescaped the aquarium, so I'd love your opinion on that, so please stay tuned. We are looking at my 75-gallon mixed African cichlid aquarium. As I look at this tank, I'm always so floored by the beauty of their colors. Truly one of the most amazing fish in the hobby. I don't think there are many females in this community. My guess is maybe half a dozen, not including the smaller ones. My few females are prolific breeders. Between them, I have at least 2 to 3 spawns each month. These babies are from 2 broods. One female was an Obi peacock and the other a super red zebra. I don't know what I would do without this amazing breeder box that they're in. If somebody asked me what fish I would suggest, these would be my answer. When people come to our home, especially for the first time, Bogey is the first fish they look at, as he's so funny looking. Then it's on to the geos, because the size of the tank and how large the fish are, not to mention the stunning look of their shimmering scales. But when it comes to standing and watching for long periods of time, everyone always ends up in front of this tank. Something about the activity, colors, beauty, the attraction is second to none. By the way, in the tumbler there are more future red zebras. You may have noticed I've rescaped this aquarium again. Now that the little ones are quite at home, they're fine with blinds instead of caves. Blinds actually work as well if you don't want a lot of caves. Fish do not have long attention spans. By having some tall rocks that work like blinds, any targeted fish can duck behind a blind and disappear from sight. That is often enough to get a tormentor off their tail. A few plants work as cover as well. There are so many ways you can create a safe and stunning scape by just using your imagination. It doesn't have to cost much either. The rocks I have in my tanks, I have collected myself. As for the plants, you can find them dirt cheap at your local dollar store or even on Amazon. I have noticed there are a couple cichlids that are getting quite old in this community. They are beginning to look a little ratty and off color. There's no point in separating them as they're not sick. They have had a good life and can live out the remainder in this community. This is one reason why I choose a few of my favorite fry to grow out. I can introduce new juveniles as I lose older fish. Sure, there are times I may purchase a few, but for the most part, I just replenish my community with my home-raised fry. For part of this video, I have had the camera on a tripod. You can clearly see I'm standing in front of the tank just by their behavior. They all pretend they're starving to death and need food desperately. Don't let that fool you into overfeeding. They are so smart and actually know their keeper, so much so it looks like they are greeting me. I like to think they just love me that much. I added a sponge filter to this aquarium as well, since I removed the box filter to my blood parrots tank. With the uber filtration, there's sand sifting and constant activity. Rarely does any detritus gather on the sand. The sponge filter is primarily for added agitation to the surface. I also like to have a polisher in each tank. Unfortunately, the one I had in this tank burnt out, so I will be replacing it soon. This aquarium gets a water change and regular maintenance on Wednesdays. Through the week, I change the fluff and the polisher a couple times. It's easy to know when, as it will become louder as it gets plugged. Midweek water top-ups are basically all I do for this tank. I only clean the canister filter every 4 months. I find that's adequate and keeps these fish in great condition. We each have our own routines as far as maintenance goes. We also have our own feeding schedules. Remembering in this hobby what works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. There are no hard and fast rules to fish care as long as you are giving them the best care you possibly can. So until next time, this is Deb Tim signing out. I'm wishing you a wonderful weekend ahead. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.